So good morning, everybody. I know you haven't heard me rant and rave for a while, and you were missing it. I know you weren't, but I still feel the compulsion to do so. So yesterday, the man who said that he wasn't going to destroy any of the White House structure destroyed the White House structure, the East Wing. And he actually said that on camera. There is video of him saying, "Oh, we're going to respect the everything," and yada yada. Tore out the rose garden, the White House rose garden, which a lot of us really kind of liked having there, and there was a reason for it to be there. But let's think about what the most important thing about this. I mean, there's a lot of history in the East Wing of the White House. It is where the public will go through when they do tours of the White House. So the people's house is not ours anymore, certainly. But the most important thing about this White House ballroom is release the Epstein files. Okay, it had to be said. Every day is another horrific thing, and they're not all distractions, although they are a distraction kind of inherently from the Epstein files. But the idea of all of this is daily we're getting another let them eat cake moment, and it's been said by other creators, content creators, and some of the media. I'm sure Rachel Maddow has said it by now, and undoubtedly Lawrence O'Donnell has said so as well. But it really is another let them eat cake moment. You have millions upon millions upon millions of dollars that are being spent on a vanity piece by a man who's incredibly narcissistic, who I'm convinced has narcissistic personality disorder on top of dementia. No, I am not a psychologist, it's just my opinion. But you can tell everybody that, oh no, it was all donors, they're all donating the money to destroy the White House. That's the people's house, by the way. That's not his home. And he's supposed to be out of there in 3 years. Why is he building this? Well, we didn't. You know what we need? We need health care for everybody. We have the most expensive health care costs in the world. And we have been convinced by very greedy people that this is normal, that paying outrageous amounts of money for health care is normal, that people having to start a GoFundMe for life-saving surgery is normal. How is that normal? People are brainwashed into thinking this is normal behavior, and it is not. It's hard for me to wrap my head around all the stuff that's going pear-shaped right now because of greed, because of ego. And the greed and the narcissism is on full display, isn't it? It's all about him. It's all about his rich and wealthy people. There's, 800,000 people or so in Arizona that don't have representation right now because Mike Johnson will not swear in their representative because he doesn't want her to call for the release of the Epstein files. And he's telling her, well, she should be represented. She can't do a damn thing until she's sworn in, and he knows it. But he's gaslighting his followers into thinking that, oh yeah, she can just go in. She doesn't have any passcodes. She cannot legally get anything done for her constituents until she is sworn in. He's had the time. He chooses not to. It's about power and it's about control. And I would honestly say this if it were the Democrats doing exactly the same thing. The bright spot in all of this is that a bunch of people rose up for No King's Day. And I am so happy to hear that there were no riots. There was a minimal Like, not even in two-digit numbers amount of arrests, some of which were shockingly MAGA, people going down, being drunk and waving guns around, and that would not be the Democrats, that would not be the liberals, that would not be the people who were protesting. And the protests, from what I heard, also include a lot of independents and a lot of non-MAGA Republicans, which I'm really happy to see there are still some left that have some kind of moral compass, who are willing to go out and protest for people who cannot go out and protest for fear of their lives and for fear of being taken up and deported because they speak Spanish. And the idea that we're in a position right now where ICE can just break into an apartment building in Chicago, rappelling down from their Black Hawk helicopters, which is unheard of because those are used for actual war, without a warrant. There's no warrant. And against a legal injunction? Holy shit. This is so incredibly dystopian. And had Obama done that, holy cow, people would have come unglued. Anyway, getting back to the positive part of this, I'm really, really happy to see that we had something like 11 million people show up. That's not bad. That's not bad. We need to double that. There's another protest that's supposed to be going on sometime in November in D.C., if I'm not mistaken. And we'll wait and we'll see what's going to go on with that. I'm sure details will come along. But we need to protest this. Everybody needs to protest this. We need to protest that there's millions upon millions of dollars being spent on Kristi Noem's two new private jets, but we can't afford medical insurance. We can't afford lunches, school lunches for kids. We need to have 2 private jets for Kristi Noem. We need to get rid of the ethics committee, which we did. We need to do all of these things so that these people have unfettered access to as much wealth and power as anybody could ever dream of, because nothing is ever enough for them. It's never enough to fill the chasm within them. It's the bottomless pit. You always got to pour more money, more status, more power, all of that in there. And we need to cut them off. They need an intervention. And we need to do that for them because they're not responsible enough to handle this kind of responsibility, this kind of power. Anyway, I'm done ranting for the time being. But I want to wish everybody who made it out to the protests a great day. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being there. Thank you for raising your voices. And thank you for standing up for the people who could not. Anyway, take care, guys.